Now let's go to the individual Rashi predictions or the moon sign predictions. The first sign, Aries, or Mesha in Sanskrit. It is a fiery sign, it's a masculine sign. It is ruled by the planet Mars. The sun is getting exalted here, and it is represented by the symbol Ram or sheep. The sidereal constellation or nakshatra in this sign are Ashwini, Bharani, and first quarter of Kritika. This info I'm especially sharing with you guys because even if you know your nakshatra, it is good because you will know what sign you are and then you can follow the prediction that I'm going to give. Jupiter is in 4th house for this native. So to explain exactly what does it mean, the chart is going to pop up now. So in the chart, if you see the moon is a natal moon, in your horoscope, the moon is in Aries, meaning when you were born, the moon was in Aries and the constellation could be anything, anywhere between Ashwini, Bharani or Kritika first quarter. So your Rashi is primarily Aries or Mesha. This is a natal moon. And I have shown Jupiter in the 4th house, which is a transit Jupiter, meaning Jupiter currently in the Cancer sign. So Jupiter could be in some other sign in your horoscope, but this is a transit Jupiter. So I mentioned Rashi and the moon placement and the Jupiter placement only because that is the only topic of the video. Prediction for the moon sign. So Jupiter being in the 4th house, so now 4th house is what? 4th house is actually represents mother, native land, home, vehicle, education, initiation into education, and happiness at home front, etc. Generally, when a benefic planet like Jupiter is in the 4th house, it ensures happiness at home. It doesn't have any negative effect on the 4th house. So from 4th house, it has an aspect on 8th, 10th and 12th house. Apart from these 3 houses, 8th and 12th are malefic houses, as you know, and 8th house represents inheritance, death, and 12th house represents loss of money, expenditure, for travel to foreign lands, etc. So these 2 aspects are not that good, but even then, Jupiter being a benefic planet, and it has become more benefic simply because it is in Cancer, it will only give a positive expansion of these houses. Probably you might get an inheritance because of the aspect on 8th house. You might get, you might travel to foreign lands, or you might have good expenditure, or you will control your expenses. But even then, it all depends on your ascendant, how the Jupiter is actually positioned in your horoscope. Now look at the pros and cons for this sign. The pros meaning the happiness at the home front, that's the first point. Next is education will be good. People who are school goers or college goers will get maximum success in the education of this sign. And then there will be a gain of assets. You will contemplating buying vehicle or a farmhouse, etc. Cons will be health will be little bit affected. The career will be little bit problematic. The Jupiter will try to create hurdle in your career, and at the end of the transit, of course, you will have some expansion because Jupiter will try to expand your career also, and there will be some loss of money. Expenditure will be high, and the remedies for this sign is very interesting that I have to bring it. The placement of Saturn for this sign as well in this coming transit. The Saturn is going to come to 8th house. Currently it is in the 7th house, which is in Libra. Probably it will come to, not probably, it will come to 8th house from November. So Jupiter currently in 4th house. From 4th house, it has a direct 5th aspect on the 8th house, Scorpio. So the 8th house transit of Saturn for this native is not going to be pleasant. You will be having depression. There will be sudden transformation, job losses, health will be affected greatly. So for this native, what happens is the remedy would be to strengthen the Jupiter. So how do you strengthen the Jupiter? The simple way to strengthen your Jupiter nowadays is to wear a natural yellow sapphire or Heliodor. So Uparatna. If you wear any of these stones, according to astrogemology, it will strengthen the planet Jupiter, you will start receiving the energy from Jupiter, because the gemstones yellow sapphire or heliodor possess the qualities to attract the energy from Jupiter. This is one of the interesting remedy for this individual. And apart from this, for Shani transit to 8th house, I will cover a separate video for this sign. So tune into the coming weeks or months. Thank you. Have a nice day.